Some of you might know about that. And we're setting up Bristol South Anti Cuts committee, and we're hoping to have a good discussion. We want something practical to come out this meeting, because it's not just about saying how bad the cuts are. We want to do something about it as and when these cuts start to happen.
The Tory proposals to reform the NHS are actually plans to finish what Thatcher started and to destroy it. These plans are put into place. If these plans are put into place, the NHS will only be a name, and everything else will be shipped off to the private sector, paving the way for a healthcare system close similar to that of America.
If, like my grandfather, you were a docker and there were no works to be had on the docks, you went walking from Bedminster to Avonmouth every day, and you stood in the pen and you waited for a day's work. And if you were a union militant, or simply if your face didn't fit, you were told to come back tomorrow. And then you had the means test. You had the poor law. You had people coming into your house and saying, as they did to my grandparents in Dean Street, off of East Street, you've got a piano. Sell the piano. Turn it into firewood. And then we'll think about giving you some money when that's burned. And that was the norm in the 1920s.
General cuts in the council are also starting to be seen. Conditions of services are the first to be attacked, and funnily enough, those connected with redundancies are first on the list. Council employees currently have pay protection for 3 years. This means if they lose their position and so have to take one which is lower paid, their salary is kept at the previous level. This is being cut to 2 years. Redundancy pay is also being capped at £700 a week.
I feel motivated, not just for myself, I feel motivated for my own children, because I think that they're looking at a future which is far worse than I had. Because I came to Bristol University in 1983, and at that time I had a grant, I remember, of £1,650 per year. And when I was a member of the Labour Party and Socialist, we thought that wasn't enough. We campaigned for more.
These cuts are nakedly ideological. They're not about dealing with a deficit that means Britain is on the brink of bankruptcy. They're not about protecting and looking after the honest working people of this country by taking away benefits from scroungers and other lurid names that the Murdoch press, who by the way have never paid a penny's tax in Britain, like to cloak unemployed people with. They're about finishing off the work that Margaret Thatcher couldn't complete.
In fact, the Institute of Fiscal Studies states that once rising pupil numbers are taken into account, the measly 0.1% growth in the school's budget is a real terms per pupil cut of 0.6%.
I've had a virtually a 3% pay cut already because of the increased pension contributions, and a lot of other people will be in the same situation. And I heard one of the things the Conservatives have said is that education is what they call ring-fenced. But I know for a fact that at Hillcrest School, they've already cut down on a number of school assistant helpers for this year.
We say, stop the war in Afghanistan and use the money instead to build things that people need. Take over the banks under public ownership and begin to plan the economy in a way that is rational and actually meets the needs of people in the 21st century. Get rid of the situation where a few people at the top of society can in effect hold the rest of us to ransom. I'm not underestimating the difficulties we shall face fighting on so many fronts, but the Tories have made another big mistake here. And that is, they've taken on virtually every section of the population except the super rich. And if we can harness the anger of people through marches, through demonstrations and protests, through trade union action, taking strike action to defend jobs and services, and through linking into the communities, then we can build a mighty force that can send this Tory Lib Dem government packing.